waistcoat. Ew. My waistcoat came in from Augusta Auctions, circa 1790. In this video, I will be taking apart this 230-year-old vest and modifying it to fit me. Wish me luck! So I initially planned a reaction video, and I recorded a reaction video of me opening my waistcoat for the very first time when it came last month. And I apparently deleted it, but I have audio, which there are some highlights from. Oh my god, my cup's shaking. This is so exciting. Oh my god, this embroidery is gorgeous. My hand is shaking. I don't remember that. Most of this video is just rustling tissue paper, so there wasn't much of a loss. Hi, I'm Phil, and I forgot to record my intro yesterday. And right now the topic is historical Regency clothing. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully the quality of the video will overshadow the audio quality of the video today. So I was initially planning on just making my own waistcoat for the court suit that I was going to make for the ball this summer, but I had to decide between a few different things. Making another matching velvet waistcoat, which I have already been traumatized from working with velvet to make the coat, or embroider my own, whether by hand, time-consuming, or get an embroidery machine, which I have been wanting to get, and buy a digitized pattern, still time-consuming. Then one day in February, I came upon an original 1790s waistcoat I saw on an Augusta Auctions that had started about $275, but I definitely ended up spending way more on it. So this waistcoat is about 34 to 36 inches in the chest, which is tiny, and I'm a 42-inch chest. But the description from the auction says it was taken in at the shoulders and the side seams, and looking inside you can see all of this extra fabric. So the only other thing that I really left out of my reaction video is just me talking about all of the colors that are on this. The golds and the greens and some blues, the faux pocket flaps. And you see light blues, you see greens, you see teals, and golden browns, and the repeating gold, brown, and green flower patterns. Zoom, zoom. Let's open and let's look on the inside. Look at the side seams. Another open sequence, and slowly. And the Vanna White hand will show you the stitching that essentially fells it down. Not a fell stitch per se, but there's like 1.5 inches on each side. And then they even altered the back. It was taken in the back. Quite a bit too. You can see the long seam that goes down through the back. It's very segmented, and this back, look how much they took off. They took off about, that's like 3 inches, like 1.5 on each edge. The back of the waistcoat is lined, but that's a lot that they took in for this waistcoat. So I initially tried to compare it to a pattern that I currently had, and go from there, but I kind of just decided it would just be easier to take out the side seam and just try it on from there. And here are the first cuts, and there's a good close-up on that embroidery. Timid at first, are these 1790s? Are these 1790 threads that I am cutting off? I can never tell if this is satisfying or just mesmerizing in itself. And I can finally see underneath the actual stitch line of the side seam. And that it just kind of left open the front panel. Oh, look at all of that. Look at all of that armpit sweat. Is that an armpit sweat from 200 years ago? And then now I'm closing up. There it is. The zoom in on the side seam. And it looks pretty even. This in 1790 the sewing machine wasn't invented yet, so And then here is actually a part of the arm side that was kind of folded in to make smaller, and it kind of made the back smaller in turn. Here I decide to collect and pick up all of these ancient threads that I may save and do something with. I've never looked at my hands so closely and so largely before. And the extant threads from possibly 1790. When taking it apart, I learned that at some point as I was removing the thread, I'm removing a bobbin thread. I'm pulling up a bobbin thread. I'm like, wait a minute. If this was the 1790s waistcoat, the sewing machine wasn't invented till 1850, and even used the sewing machine at it quite a few times. I actually found some holes from previous marks. And so it's been sized down, and I was just like, it's still, once I opened it, it was still maybe only a 40 chest, and I'm a 42. Most of what I had to do was just let it out. I just add some linen to the sides and kind of try to do the least amount to it. It just kind of, because it's only about the front, it's only really about the exterior anyway, so no one's gonna know what's under here. Then I added some fabric to each side seam to extend that part of it to allow for the chest. And I actually, my first time around, I added too much, so it was nice. I only really needed to add about an inch or so, and then I could just pull in with the 3 pairs of ties from behind to tighten it up. And it was a pretty easy fix. I just had to sew it together, and basically I was all set.